and welcome to the Webseries Digest. This is episode 10, Web Series Suck. Woo-hoo. I'm Sara.
I'm Ingrid. I've made the Grey Tarmac Road and co-made the Uncanny Upshurs. Go support us if that's still happening. Yeah.
I am Nicole. I made the Blair Goddess Project and also helped with Hamlet the Dame and also co-made the greatest web series of all time, Eddy Rex.
I'm Shannen. I co-made with Sara The Adventures of Jamie Watson and Sherlock Holmes, and I made Hamlet the Dame, and I co-made the greatest web series of all time, Eddy Rex.
You know, I showed that to Jimmy and Eiley, and they thought it was the funniest shit.
Good.
Eddy Rex.
It is. It's the greatest web series of all time.
So what are we talking about today?
So I was outlining my outline.
As you do.
As you do. For this web series podcast, and I realized I had 9 episodes, so I tacked an episode on to make a perfect 10, and then I was like, well, what should this episode be about? So in my description, it is a round table discussion where we discuss how much we hate web series, and then there's a second bullet point, save yourselves.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be real salty and talk about all the shit that we hate with web series and making web series.
Don't make a web series.
It's not worth it.
It'll ruin your life.
For an hour.
Yep.
We're too
Okay.
big.
I think I'm the least disillusioned with web series
Yeah, you seem to...
of all of the Thunderdome.
It's
Because
like,
you have a real cast that, like, commits to you
Yeah.
and stuff.
And loves you.
it's gone well for you, it seems. What's your secret?
Well-ish. I don't know. Like, it hasn't honestly gone amazingly well. Like, there have been many, many setbacks.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm mostly amazed by, like, you keeping people.
Yeah, like, the size
Yeah,
of your
that's true.
casts and the fact that they stay for the whole show is the crazy part.
They do. That is true. Like, I don't know. Like, I think...
Maybe it's just the Brits.
That, I was thinking
Maybe.
that, and I hadn't voiced it. I was like, is there maybe some kind of cultural element?
I mean, there hasn't been... You know what I think is actually the thing is, like, finding people that are like, well, I kind of know you, but not amazingly. You know where you're still in that stage of friendship where you're, like, being polite to each other?
Yeah.
That's where I
firstly
caught
that.
Megan. We were just talking about this.
Yeah, so firstly that, and then, like, well, the thing is, the people who have ghosted me, and, like, you know, with Unup Series 2, so I basically did out a thing, and I was like, hey, if you're interested in being in Series 2, then let me know, and a lot of people didn't reply, and that was mostly, like, the people who I didn't know before the show, apart from Deja, who is the most wonderful person in the world. And I'm so glad I found her. But yeah. Like,
I
yeah.
can see that.
I think,
People you
yeah.
don't know very well.
It's difficult with the professional actors.
Oh, yeah.
Professionals.
Actors are terrible. That's what this web series should be called.
Well,
or not
yeah.
web series.
The episode. That's because I think that's, like, ultimately been where, like, most of all of our troubles have been.
Yeah.
Is actors canceling in some way.
Disappearing off the face of the earth.
Well, here's the thing, and this is, I think, the explanation. When you make a web series, it is your baby, you love it, you will do anything to see it come to fruition. Actors usually are there to do you a favor, and they kind of stick around for as long as they feel like continuing to do you a favor, and if they don't care that much, they'll just ghost you. And I think people have this false impression because of a few actors who are vocal on Tumblr or whatever, and like, I'm so into my project. Most of the actors that we've had don't care, really, about the web series or the final product.
Yeah.
They don't even really want to watch it when it's done. Like, most of them are only there to do you a favor. And you're just like, thank you for showing up and saying some lines.
Well, and especially, like, when you're like a lot of web series people are when you're making it and you're still in school. It's like they're doing it just to like have something else to put on their resume.
Yeah.
Or have something else to put in their reel if it turns out looking good. So it's like, yeah, they're just doing it to get more acting experience, which I don't want to say like, how dare they, like, that's
like, of
fine.
course that's what they're doing.
Like, that's legit, but yeah, it's just, that's kind of like where most problems end up. And I think like the hardest situation is when you have to recast someone and refilm stuff, because yeah, we've had to do that. We had to do that with Tajwash, and then in Notes by Christine, we had to recast. I mean, I wasn't, like, making it. I was just there.
I
but
remember
they had
that
to recast,
happening, where she had to, like, beg Michael to be in it.
Yeah.
They had to recast Ralph, a.k.a. Raoul, for Notes by Christine, which is Phantom, for those of you listening that didn't know that. But we just had Jen on the last episode, so you should know what Notes by Christine is.
Really, if you're listening to this episode, you probably should have listened to the entire
rest of the podcast. No, someone's just listening like, I don't want to make a web series. Tell me why I shouldn't.
Why you shouldn't is it's really hard work, and you do a lot of begging people to help you with stuff.
And spending all of your own money so that you have no money to spend on other things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spending all your time.
Oh my god, guys.
Huh.
I didn't tell you.
What?
They sold the Twister cow.
You did tell us, and I said I hope that its owner is loving.
Oh,
yeah, you said it in the chat.
I forgot that I did that.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the thing. They sold the second Twister cow.
They didn't sell the real one?
They didn't sell the original Twister cow.
There's
that
two
is
Twister
still there.
cows.
There's two Twister cows. There's the original Twister cow.
Is this relevant?
Yes.
So we're gonna make a web series about our plight to
buy the Twister cow.
That'd be a really fun mockumentary.
That would be funny, actually.
Go trying to find it wherever it went.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god, it's like
track down who bought the Twister
I
cow.
read this book that was, this is so off topic, but I don't care now, I have to say it. There was This Adventure Ends book that I keep trying to get you guys to read. There was a painting, and it was like her friend's mom died, and she was an artist, and the painting accidentally got sold that was like for her kids, so they were trying to get it back. And so she was like tracking it down across America. She would like go to one art gallery and be like, where is this painting? And they're like, well, we can't really tell you who we sold it to, but like it might have been someone in this city, and you could look at art galleries there. And so she was like going everywhere. And yeah,
So, what I think the hardest thing about making a web series is, other than actors, which I've already said is the hardest thing, is, I guess not really the hardest thing. If you're gonna If you're gonna make a web series, you have to ask yourself, like, why you're doing it, and is the end game gonna be worth all of the effort you put into it? Like, because you're probably not gonna get that many views and that many fans, and so it's like, it's only worth it if you really want
it
that
to exist.
thing. Yeah. So if you don't care about it that much, then there's no point doing it, and then you're not gonna have fun.
Here's the other thing. Also, I like how you mentioned having to replace actors for Tajwash and for Notes by Christine, but you didn't mention the fact that we had to recast Rachel.
I forgot about that. That's true.
We had to refilm like 4 episodes.
We only filmed with her one day.
Yeah, I guess because you were so lucky in finding Casey.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
Casey is amazing. Like,
it was a good end situation to having to recast.
And we didn't. Notes by Christine and Tajwash, we had already aired things with the first actor.
This is why my number one thing that I always say is don't start airing before you're done filming. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
guys.
don't announce the thing before you're done. Like, you can announce it in terms of, like, you know, doing a campaign or whatever, or being like, we're working on this, here's some behind the scenes stuff, but don't say, this is when we're gonna air it, this is our schedule. Until you've done it. Yeah.
Bad idea. It never ever ends well.
But that's like, unless you give your airing date as like coming 2018.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, or like in the spring.
But that's the thing, is that so many people are making it in school and are confined to the school year. And that's, I think, part of the reason why. I mean, that's why Tajwash aired while we were filming it. But film as much as you possibly can before you air
And
it.
I understand
And film as
there
far
are-
ahead of time as possible.
I understand
because
there are
also,
situations, but like...
If you're not sure how to do, like, announcements, like, look at, like, I talked about elsewhere in this
show
podcast thing. Like, look to the professionals. Look at how they announce stuff in their stages, because they start with going, like, this film's coming out 2018.
But don't actually...
Then as they get closer, they go, this film comes out fall 2018, and then they give the date probably about like 3 months in advance.
Or, I'm gonna throw a twist on that, just don't say when it's coming. That's fine too. I'm kind of different than a lot of other people with web series, because I know it's very popular now to like do a countdown and announce your cast and whatever. I would much rather just like film the thing, maybe not even mention that I'm filming the thing, and then when it's about to come up, be like, hey, there's a thing coming.
I mean, you still.
I think that was a lot easier to do. Like, you know, this is like no shade, whatever. But I think that was a lot easier to do it like that when you made BGP, because there was not a lot out there, and it was not so much of like a, you know, people
there
being
was a lot
fans
out
of.
there.
Yeah, but like, you know, people being fans of like, you know, sharing around a thing and then being into it, you know?
And you
I mean,
didn't
yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, it was different. No, it definitely was different for me because I wasn't like in the web series community, because how I got into that was being a creator, and I wasn't a creator yet. So I mentioned to my friends that I was making a web series, and like on my private Twitter, which is the only Twitter I have. So like it was being talked about to people, but I wasn't like announcing it. But there was no one to announce it to. So yeah. But I mean, that being said, the show that I am currently writing that probably won't get filmed until 2 years from now, I'm not probably going to announce it until I'm, like, mostly done editing it. You know?
Nicole likes to be a stealth, like, hey, but by the way, I made something last week. It came out.
We announced Eddy Rex
Eddy
a year
Rex,
beforehand, guys.
We did. We told you guys about it in, like, September, so...
Yeah, but that's different because you're butts.
I'm not going to be as secretive as we were with Eddy Rex. That was just for fun. But
Hey, Ingrid, mm-hmm. tell them and the listeners about how they're butts for Eddy Rex.
They are butts for Eddy Rex. I mean, you're also like a co-conspirator butt.
Yeah, Sarah.
Like,
yeah, you
Sarah,
definitely are part of this, Sarah. You're not getting out.
Sarah's
you're a
playing
butt by
Candy
association.
Crush.
Because I just hate web series so much.
Let's like flames
on the sides of my face.
Let's talk about what we hate about trends of web series. Like, so...
No tea, no shade.
What? No, I don't want to, like, say, like, this web series is bad.
Yeah,
but,
no,
like,
we're not calling anyone out on here.
No. But, like, even, like, stuff that we have done and now we're like, I wish web series didn't do that. I mean, I know that you're sick of vlogs and also sick of literary.
I will say those both with an asterisk. I am sick of vlogs. Asterisk. I still love some vlog series that are good. Like, if you do something different or original with it, or even not different, like, I mean, we love to talk about Project Green Gables. It's a vlog series, that's all it is, but it's good.
This is like, this, you know, we were talking about in the writing episode how basically both with literary web series and with vlog stuff, because it got so popular so quickly, everyone
did the same
was
thing.
Was kind of doing it, but like doing it because taking that as a form rather than like a means of adaptation and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, you know, the thing about Project Green Gables is that it adapts every single like element of the story and it puts it into a new context, and that's the point. Like, you know, like with vlog stuff, basically, it's like, if you're making a vlog series, there has to be a reason for it to be a vlog. And there has to be, and it can't, like, you know, it's not like an in-world reason. Like, there has to be a narrative reason why you want it to be a vlog. And you have to, like, sort of incorporate that. like, you can't be necessarily looking for ways around telling the story as a vlog series, because then it's like, well, maybe you just shouldn't be writing this, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's like part of the thing with Hamlet was it was a vlog series because it was a comment on vlog series, like it was supposed to be meta. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that
so
kind
like,
of
the
thing.
thing is, I am sick of vlog series, but I'm only sick of vlog series that don't try, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're just gonna make a vlog series and be like, it's just a vlog series because I don't know how to use a camera, then it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, it falls apart a little bit.
And the reason why I'm sick of adaptations is because I don't care about classic literature. And people get and again, it's just people being lazy. If you're gonna do a really good adaptation, I'll throw Project Green Gables again because I just love to talk about them. But like, if you're gonna adapt everything really cleverly and like make it relevant and whatever, do it. Like, do an adaptation. But I'm just sick of
Titanic.
I'm sick of Titanic the web series will be amazing. Jen as the iceberg will be revolutionary. 2062. Anyway,
that's the 150th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic.
Oh,
for those who don't know.
We talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah,
if you're faithful listeners.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is though, like, I'm just sick of people being lazy. And when I say that, by all means, be lazy, make your web series. If you want to make a web series that you just made, that you're like, this isn't like revolutionary or anything, I just made it for fun.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, I'm not begrudging you at all.
Yeah, and especially if, like, you want to go into film in some way, which I don't think necessarily a lot of people who make web series do. But if you do, then it's great to just get experience using a camera, even if, like, you didn't work as hard on the story or something.
Yeah, and you can always, and even if it's
yeah, and I mean, if you're,
I'm doing air quotes, you can still put it on your resume.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is I'm kind of on two sides of the coin here. One side, I'm like, I'm sick of seeing shows where you can tell people just kind of slapped it together.
They made a show to make it.
They just made it to make it, and it's you can tell they didn't really care or put that much effort into it. They just kind of slapped it together.
I think
but
the thing is, I think the thing about this is, like, Nicole's, like, three points, like, merging together in this one, but, like, basically, if it's really slapdash and they're also promoting it, then I'm like, okay.
That's the thing. If you made it just to make it and it's fun, put it on the internet, be done with yourself, be happy. But if you're like, everyone needs to watch my show, it's a great work of art, it's beautiful, it's a great adaptation, everybody watch my show, and you're like, okay, but did you really even put work into this? Then I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah, that's hard though, because if you, like, care about the story though, that's gonna be me with Gay Pride and Prejudice coming.
But, like, so don't be lazy.
Yeah, if you care about the story, then do it well. Like, don't do it just because you want a web series out there. And if you I think that's what we always come back to.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to actually care about what you need to be making it for yourself.
If you take one thing out of this podcast, it's make it for yourself, which you could have taken out of the first episode, but we hope that it's really hammered into your head by now.
Which, like, make it for yourself isn't to say, like, don't take anyone else's criticism, don't take in, like,
if you then,
it's not even to say don't promote it or don't try to get fans, because obviously we all want fans, or we would just keep them on our own hard drives and not show them to anyone. But
I mean, like, it literally, it's like, you can't turn around and sort of go, if someone's like, hey, your show was bad because of these reasons, and then, well, like, you know, if someone's like, hey, this thing you did was really offensive or something like that, and then you're like, well, I did it for myself, so it's like, no.
It's like, okay, but people are watching it. Keep it on your own hard drive.
Yeah, you still have to be respectful.
I really hate it when cameras are just left on recording. They just are. Because
oh my god, yes.
Not like, because batteries don't die super fast.
You guys gotta stop hitting the table and shaking the
table.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I can kind of forgive that in, like, there were like, you know, a lot of web series came out at once and a lot of them did the same things. And when there's like semantic things like that, I can forgive it if it's a good show. But it's showing up now is just like, no, we don't need that.
We've moved past this.
Like, if you have the camera was left on, then have it be like it's a lot more interesting doing this. Like, have it be because a character specifically left it on because they wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Or,
you know,
no,
you're
I
allowed
think
to
what
have
Sarah's
like
talking about is when you get the like, it was on all night to catch something that happened at 2 a.m. Like, there's no way. Cameras stop recording. The battery would die. That's not possible. And also, who went through 12 hours of footage to find this one clip?
Unless you're like, unless the tiniest of tiny asterisks here, you're doing paranormal activity or a crime show.
Yeah, or like someone
say that you put extra batteries in
That's
it.
like there's exceptions
or like,
to everything.
You know, someone specifically, like, basically, if you have someone who's really, 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 really extra, then it's like, okay, maybe. But
you still have to explain how that camera kept recording all night. Cause that's not how cameras work.
Like, explain that, and like, if it's a surveillance camera, I guess it would be okay.
Yeah.
But like,
that's where I was talking.
Explain that, and also explain like the character's motivation in doing this, and also have someone bring them up on it, because that's the one thing that I barely ever see, which is like, you know, usually with web series, like when there's a drama thing that happens because someone got something on camera and they're like, oh, the camera was still on and I found out that this thing that you did, like the only point of contention is you did this thing and I'm annoyed about it, rather than also why were you filming? Like, what were you doing? What was the reasoning for this? Like, you know.
And that kind of comes to when web series like post videos that in real life you would not post.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to if you're gonna do that, find a reason for a character to post it and like follow that up, or like be like, this happened, but it's not. This video doesn't exist in world. You know?
Yeah. There's been a trend recently, and I think it's kind of refreshing because, like, for example, I'll bring up Merry Maidens, which I don't know if any of you guys are watching, but all the video descriptions will say like, this video is posted on Marion's vlog. This video is stored on Robin's private hard drive. So it's like, some of them you're like, okay, I'm watching this video, but it's not online. So it makes sense that she would just keep that on her computer and not show it to anyone or whatever. So like, if you want to do something like that, that's a way to get around it also. Like, oh, why would they post this online? So there's ways around it.
And it's like, you can make really interesting stories based on the fallout of like, hey, you posted this online and I didn't want you to.
Okay, Hamlet.
Yeah. Like, I think that's interesting because that's like modernizing it and using the format to your advantage.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do vlog style, you can use the format to your advantage in really cool ways.
I'm struggling with that. No details because spoilers. But I'm struggling with this concept a little bit when it comes to writing gay pride and prejudice. Simply because of the nature of what I'm doing with Georgiana's storyline. And, like, for example, Lizzie Bennet Diaries had their Georgiana speak to the camera about her experience with Wickham and give permission. But it's difficult, especially with, like, the reading of the letter. I'm assuming that the people listening know at least the vague plot details of Pride and Prejudice.
I think the thing is, you know what? I'm literally just talking to Sara and saying, hey, you should do this. But, like, no, like, people know the plot of Pride and Prejudice. You can have someone just read the letter and then not say what's in it.
I mean, that's true.
That being said, though, like, yes, but also, I get hesitant to say that only because, people know the Pride and Prejudice, and by this point, even if you didn't, because I had never read Pride and Prejudice, I've seen Lizzie Bennet Diaries, so now I do. Like, people know the plot, but I'm just saying you can't rely too much on people knowing the plot, and I will say that for Hamlet. Not that I think we did that with Hamlet too much, but I showed it to some people, like my parents, who didn't even know that the skull thing was from Hamlet. Like, just
Oh my
several
gosh.
things. They did not know anything about Hamlet at all. They didn't know it was the Lion King. They knew nothing. And they kept being like, oh my God, like, who killed the dad? And I'm like, what do you mean who killed the dad? So, like, things like that where you assume that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have to say it eventually. Like, when we got to the point where she was like, okay, yeah, it was my uncle, or, you know, Claude, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Eventually
like,
have to say
I
it
figured
for those
there's
three people that...
Yeah,
don't
there's
know
stuff
it.
like that where you could. I mean, I'm like specifically exampling this thing with the letter stuff, like where you can do it in a way that the people who know what the plot is happening will know what's happening, but then like later on be like, oh, this is what happened, by the way. Like when you have the other party there to like tell it to the camera or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did with Lizzie Benedari's. They didn't tell us what was in the letter the first time.
I just want the people listening to know that Ingrid is making a flower crown, and as she's speaking, she's like twirling these beautiful bouquets of flowers, and she looks artistic and beautiful, and I love
I'm
her.
also like cutting this.
Yeah.
I know, I've made a flower crown before, but while you were speaking, you were kind of twirling the bouquet with a single flower on it, and I was like, this is beautiful.
Art.
This belongs in a web series.
Yeah. Just a web series about Ingrid making a flower crown.
What else do
Let's
we hate
do
about
that.
web
What else do I
series?
hate about web series? I hate when I go back and watch the Blair Goddess Project and I hear my microphone rustling. I hate technical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
I hate the amount of white people in web series as a white person.
Well,
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
also
true.
a hard one.
I think as white people, we can all say there were a lot of white people in our web series.
Yep, there
Yeah.
were. And I tried to get more people. Like, I tried to kind of evenly mix my Alex people and different things, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, I had Jen as a main character, and
Well, that's
Yankee.
true.
I did pretty well, guys. No, I still had a lot of white people, though. It's okay.
Didn't Ingrid, weren't you saying that all of the like trans characters in the
Yeah,
Parafable
all of the Parafable trans characters and almost all trans characters in web series. There was the one from Any Other Vlog, the agender person
Yes.
who is not. But I'm gonna have a look at this page now. But pretty much like the vast majority of trans characters in web series at the moment are white. Like, obviously this has a lot to do with who's, like, going up for roles, but especially with bigger web series, like, they should be able to fucking figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is also, like, you know, the vast majority of trans characters in web series are from smaller web series, which is fucked when you think about it,
Yeah.
because we're able to find them.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you doing? You know.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Spending $10,000 to buy cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a red epic to make a web series. There's something
No.
for you.
I was specifically calling out The Room with that, but
It's not a web series. So.
it's not a web series.
No, I'm just saying.
It could have been.
Oh, I was calling out someone that none of you know from Tallahassee that came and talked to our class, and he was talking about his budget for his film, and he was like, and we bought a red epic, and I'm like, okay, why?
Jeez.
I mean, I guess if you have the money.
Yeah, but he was like, and I watched his film, it was terrible. I'm like, if you don't know how to use a red epic, don't get one, please.
Yeah.
That goes
No.
for you kids listening.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to
Don't
use
get a
it,
red epic.
Don't
Don't get a red epic. I know all of you are like,
It's a
you guys are
camera.
all
I
swimming
figured
in
that.
cash.
It's like the
and you can
best
afford a
camera
red
in the
epic. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Like, if you're gonna, like, you know, if you have a shit ton of money, like, pay for people to travel to your place. Pay for, like, you know.
actors, perhaps.
Yeah, pay your
Vacations.
actors, maybe.
Maybe if you pay your actors, they won't ghost you.
Ah.
No, debatable.
Like,
Hamlet Wharf.
Hamlet. Let's not talk about that.
We talked
yeah,
about it in a
no,
prior
I mean,
episode.
yeah, it's like, obviously you can't control who shows up for your things, you can't control blah, blah, blah. But I think, you know, in general, if you're gonna make web series, like, because this is, like, my general thing, like, unless a character needs to be white for the narrative, I, you know, on casting calls, I'm like, actors of color preferred, non-white preferred, just in general, because it does mean that people will look at it more and be like, oh, hey, you know.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. But yeah.
What else do we hate about web series?
What else do we hate about web series, guys?
I mean, we could talk about things that we like about web series.
No.
Not in this episode.
No,
This
we've
is
already
not
done
the
that.
episode for
We've done that. We have 9 episodes of us talking about things we like in
I
web
don't
series.
remember talking about anything I liked in the last episodes I was in.
I hate locations.
Yeah.
Finding locations, making locations look good. It's very difficult.
It is.
That is
We
difficult.
all just have our little apartments, and you have to just make them look like as many different things as possible.
Yeah, like, frickin' set dressing is your friend.
Yes,
like-
definitely. If you
Like, hang on
can
to, like,
suggest.
posters you've had as a kid.
Yes.
Onto that shit. Like, I've got, like,
I'm
an
nice
Avril
now.
Lavigne...
Give it back
An
to
Avril
me.
Lavigne poster that I'm like, well, one day I'll have a web series character.
Yeah, I
That'll
actually,
need
the
this.
poster that is in Alex's house that says, like, music, life, whatever, with the huge guitar, my mom gave that to me for Christmas because I play the guitar, and I thought it was so corny. And I was just like, I'm not putting this in my room, but I just kind of stuck it in the corner of my room because I knew I was going to use it for, because it was like right before we were filming, so I put it in Alex's house, and I was like, well, it works for Alex, and I told my mom won't be listening to this, I told my mom, oh, it's perfect, because Alex's father is Apollo, and so they like music. But in my head, I was thinking it's perfect because Alex has terrible taste in decoration.
Yeah, no, like, literally, like, you know, frickin', like, because in GTR, they're the same room. Like, Trudy's room and Omar's room are the same room. But, like, so many of, like, all those frickin' nerd posters I just had from childhood, and then, like, a couple were from, like, I went into my brother's room and I found, like, a load of, like, Simpsons comics, and I was like, great. These are mine now.
The best set locations are if you live on or near a college campus. You can get away with a lot of stuff. But
Yeah, I mean, you know, one thing I'd say is, like, literally try going to places and asking if you can film there. Like, that's a real, like a thing. Like, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm a local young filmmaker in the area.
Yeah, local businesses love that.
hey,
Yeah,
I
literally
knew somebody
saying,
who
like-
worked at Newberry, and I was like, do you think they would let me film there? And she was like, let me ask my manager. And then the manager let us come, like, before they opened and film there with no people and have, like, my friend play the cashier, and he gave us t-shirts and froyo. It was amazing. Go
Yeah,
to
that's
Newberry
the
if you're ever in
craziest
Tallahassee.
shit.
So, yes, sometimes they're very nice to you. And sometimes you're filming in a mall parking garage and a security guard comes up to you and says, this is private property, you can't film here anymore, and you have to go find a different parking garage.
Oh no.
I'm not saying that from experience.
She is.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, if someone tells you, hey, you can't film here, don't film
do
there.
the thing.
Leave. Like, don't try to keep going.
Sometimes you will be detained for a short period by like other events.
That's a level of me.
Shannen wasn't there for that. Yes, sometimes you will be pulled over and they will take your license and ask you a lot of questions about why you were spying on government property.
And your father is having a psychotic break, but you don't know that, and he's just told you that he's being investigated by the FBI, so you're freaking out. And then it later turns out your father is having a psychotic break, and he's okay now. He's on medication.
Okay. And it makes you late for Kiss Me Kate rehearsal.
But
We're not talking from experience.
But we got a really cool shot.
that we didn't use.
We
because
did.
the government could be listening.
Okay, well, we didn't use it, wink, wink, but if we did, wink, wink, use it, it would be the circle of life shot, wink, wink, of the Orlando Eye in Hamlet.
It's a lot of shouting at this table.
It was traumatic.
At the table.
There's Shannen.
There are some things
you're gonna have
coming
to
out
edit
in
this
this
out.
podcast.
I love how Shannon was the only one who wasn't there and was the one who was like, but we got a really cool shot, right, guys?
Oh, it was a
And,
really
like,
cool shot, though.
It is very cool.
We were just detained by the government briefly.
So
It was fine.
don't let that happen to you while you make a web series. Don't accidentally film on government property.
Don't Snapchat while you're doing it.
It's a great.
We didn't
story.
know it was government property. Guys, I'm not trying to say we were like sneaking around. We didn't realize what was that. We thought it was a field, okay? But also maybe don't pull over on the side of the highway where you know you probably shouldn't be filming.
Anyway, set dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, fields are good shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so mad that, like, the majority of the people who act in my shows live in London, and I probably wouldn't be able to make a show during term time because uni, but, like, the place where I live now is, like, ridiculous. Like, everywhere you go, it's like, I could film something here.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about everything.
And I will say that, like, especially if you're making a vlog series, at some point, go outside.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you don't even realize until, like, you're watching it and an episode goes outside just how, like, refreshing that feels. Like, because a vlog series is very confined. And so sometimes it goes outside and you're just like, oh, right, you're in, like, the real world.
I remember that being revolutionary, going from, like, Lizzie Bennett to Jane Eyre. When I was watching Jane Eyre, I was like, oh my god, she moves the camera. This is amazing.
Lizzie Bennett, it was fine when Lizzie Bennett... There's so many things about Lizzie Bennett where it's like, when Lizzie Bennett did it, that was fine because they were the first one. But now Lizzie Bennett couldn't get away with some of those things today. Like, Lizzie Bennett couldn't get away with the video stopping when Darcy entered and you don't see his face yet. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but because they were
She just did it for the drama.
Like, it was fine all the time. Although I think even at the time I was like, this doesn't make any sense, but it was okay. But now you couldn't get away with something like that.
There's a lot of things you couldn't get away with, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were the first ones, so it was forgivable.
We forgave them even when it was unforgivable.
But yeah, go outside.
Like, okay, I guess.
Montage videos are great.
We love them. We
Always
love
do
making
this.
them. We love watching them. But they're not always going to be as fun to make as you think they are. Ours was kind of fun, sometimes kind of stressful, because we'd be like, okay, you always go into a montage episode thinking, like, we're just going to be, like, having fun and also filming at the same time. And then you get there and you're like, we have, like, 1 hour to get a lot of shots. We have to run around and pretend to have fun.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, who was I just recently talking to about that? I wasn't recently talking to someone. I was listening to an episode of Rose Buddies.
Yes,
where they
I
were
know exactly what you're talking
about how on reality TV, we're so random and spontaneous. No.
Griffin was talking
No one
about...
is ever like that.
If anyone watches The Bachelorette or listens to Rose Buddies, they were talking about, I mean, I don't know when this is going to go up, but the date with Eric... and they go to an amusement park, and so it's like a montage of them riding all these rides, and Griffin was like, it looked so fun, but I couldn't stop myself from thinking about, like, wow, they must have just been running around being like, we have to get this shot on this ride, and it probably wasn't fun at all.
That's exactly how
and
it is.
that's exactly what a montage is
Because the montage episode of Blair where they go to the park and we're driving, I was like, this is going to be so fun. We're just going to, like, drive up in my car and be hanging out and then, like, go to this park and be hanging... No. Jen was like, that was her last night that she could film. We had to get everything done. And so we were, like, driving up. I'm like, we're going to drive up and down. We're going to get these shots. And then we're going to go to this park. We're going to, like, very specifically film in these 4 locations. Like, and then we're going to leave because we don't have time to mess around.
That's... You do honestly need to have a few things that it's, like a few shots or... if there's any, like, plot-relevant things, scenes that you know you're gonna get. Because some people, like, can't improv very well.
And that's fine.
Especially when you've been doing a bunch of scripted videos and then suddenly you take your actors and you're like, okay, now pretend to have fun. Like, some people just won't be able to do that. So you do need to have some things planned. And then some things might happen spontaneously, but yeah.
Because
I mean,
Yeah.
I think, what I was going to say, yeah, I would say one thing about, like, montage videos and stuff. There was this one video from a web series that I don't actually watch, but I saw this one video, and I think it's happened in a lot of web series, so, like, you won't be able to know what I'm talking about. But, like, it was, like, they filmed their date, but it wasn't in a way where it was, like, you know, when people actually go on a date and film stuff, it's like they film dumb shit and the sky and, like, pretty things
them
that they see.
At the camera and stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, they don't sit a camera down and then have all this, like, you know, emotional time just in front of the like, it really fucking, I was like, this is really weird.
I do think I know which one you're talking about.
It's incredibly unnatural, and don't do it, because God.
I'll give a good example. If you guys watch the Rodell Project, they had a nice little date video where they just ran around and filmed flowers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like, Autobiography of Jane Eyre, they did that, and it was like...
The grocery shopping episode!
Yeah! Like, this is fine!
Episode of any web series.
And it feels real, and then, like, the connection between the characters feels real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need, like, necessarily a sit down and, like, have an emotional conversation about
I'd
love
say,
or something.
like...
If you guys haven't seen the grocery shopping episode of Autobiography of Jane Eyre, what are you doing?
Yeah, just
It's
watch that one episode.
every single montage that I have ever made or will make in a web series is inspired by that. Like, the driving episode of Blair. When we were doing the driving episode of Hamlet, I was like, okay, Shannen, you need to watch Autobiography of Jane Eyre's shopping
I think
episode.
that, yeah, like... It's a lot easier to do when you are in the show.
Yes, definitely.
Because if you're not, then it's like, I'm filming this, so, okay, go and have fun, guys, and they're just like,
Yeah, that is
whereas,
true, because...
like, you know, if you're in it doing it, you can just be, like, saying a stupid thing, and then people
you
can
don't
laugh.
have to worry about you
being in the
it.
shot. That was one of the problems that we had with the Hamlet montage, is we wanted Sara to come and hang out with us, but it wouldn't make sense for a random dead body girl to be hanging out with the friends. So we'd be like, stand over there, you can't be in this shot.
Yeah. There's one shot in Unups I mean, luckily, like, Roxy and Sara have very good chemistry in terms of they can have random conversations a lot, and it works. But, like, there's one shot where you can see me in the reflection, and I was, like, retroactively like, hey, this character was there!
Well,
you know.
Yeah.
It happens. That's the other thing, is mistakes happen. Always. So it's fine.
You can see
Try
Nicole
to eliminate them. You can see me in the mirror,
reflection.
in Hamlet.
Which, like,
It would have been fine if I was wearing the same outfit. That's the problem. Is we were in the party episode of Hamlet, there's a mirror on Jeff's back wall, and when I was filming, because it made sense, because it was like, it was Marcy filming, but it was actually me filming most of the times. Even when it was Rachel filming, it was usually me filming. But
I filmed as
Which is
Rachel.
hilarious, because she's teeny, and you are not.
Actually, I wish we had, like, a video of me, because I would crouch down, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure Rachel's going to be shorter than me, so I would, like, bend over.
But yeah,
anyway.
you can see Nicole in the mirror.
The only bad thing is, so you had seen me earlier in the episode, and I'm wearing a different outfit, and you can see David following me with the sound, and it's like, why is Gil following Marcy around?
If you happen to... Nicole's a lot more obvious than David.
Yeah.
David, unless you, like, know that he's doing the sound, you can't tell that he's, like, holding the sound.
That's true.
So it looks just kind of like a person who walks by, but, like, yeah.
But David's moving and leaving us.
I'm sorry, Sara.
He has to come back and be in our web shows, though.
Yeah, he does.
He drove to Tallahassee.
He's already been in... He did. And Hamlet.
Yeah, but we drove him.
That's
there
true.
For Hamlet.
He is already in the best web series of all time, Eddy Rex, so it's fine. No, but for those listening who don't know, David was Gil in Hamlet and Stephen Inks in Eddy Rex.
And William King and Tajwash.
Yes. Throwback to season 1.
Season 1 of Tajwash is like the biggest cryptid of 2020.
It really is.
I'm always like, hey guys, remember this thing in season 1 of Tajwash?
We're like, nope, we don't remember that at all.
Whenever, like, literally, because I've been, like, making gifs and shit, like...
Sarah, no one can see you do that.
Ingrid, what were you saying?
I was saying, like, because I'm making gifs and shit, and so, like, I will do... It's also really funny because every episode after you cut your hair, you look exactly the same.
Yeah.
But Sarah looks different.
Sarah looks
and
like
it's
a baby.
Sarah has gained like 20 pounds.
No, it was like, this is like a tiny, like, with, your hair was a lot shorter as well, and like, Jamie was unjaded and kind and good.
Yeah, Jamie got a lot more cynical in season 2.
Literally.
Understandably so, but, you know.
Yeah, but, like, imagine, like, literally watching, like, the first couple episodes, or like, the episodes where she and Sherlock are being friends in series 1 is so fucked up, because it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Well,
So sad.
Anyway, why were we talking about... Oh, yeah, no, I was... The mirror thing. That's not important. What else? Other mistakes that we can talk about. Sometimes you notice them, though. Like, there was one scene in Eddy Rex where we were filming and we're like, hey, those windows behind us are really reflective. Let's turn the other way.
Be careful of windows.
So
and
watch out for
mirrors.
windows and mirrors and really shiny picture frames.
Guys, when you make a web series, what's the opposite of a vampire? Don't vampires avoid mirrors? But it's because they can't see themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, do we become werewolves?
I thought you were gonna reference Twin Peaks, honestly.
Oh my god!
If you could see Sarah's face right now.
I know, and I knew this
Sarah's.
thing about Twin Peaks before you even watched Twin Peaks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In the first episode of Twin Peaks, they accidentally got one of the crew members in a reflection, so they basically made him the murderer. Like,
That's so funny.
like, there's...
I don't think that's how Bob happened.
I think Bob was already a thing, but they decided to cast him, the
Because
crew
of it
member,
being in
because
the
he was in the
reflection.
reflection. Like, I know that the crew member was not going to be the bad guy, except that they accidentally got him in the reflection.
No, because
That poor guy.
No, because he was an actor that they cast.
No, he was a crew member. They accidentally got in the reflection.
Oh, you're right.
Shannon's just like, I am always right.
You're right.
That's
He was a
different.
set dresser on the pilot.
Yes.
Oh, he's Native American.
This is now...
That's
Talk
not
About
a yay,
Random
to be
Things,
honest.
The podcast.
So anyway, what else do we
He
hate
died
about
a month
web
after I was born.
Sarah, what else do we hate about web series? What
That they aren't Twin Peaks.
I hate
Yeah.
about web series is how long they take to do.
Yeah.
You will think that you'll be like, oh, this is simple. It's going to take like half an hour. Nope. It will not.
Yeah.
It will not take half an hour.
But
Like,
Sometimes-
literally every 2 minutes of visual you need to plan an hour for.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, but sometimes it's the
sometimes
opposite.
you think you need like an hour to do something, but if like you really have a time crunch, you can make yourself get something done. Because like the episode of Hamlet, where we're outside at the
my
lake,
God. The sun was going down.
we literally had 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was
to
very
do-
fast.
and it's a decent sized episode. I don't remember exactly how long it is, but it's not like it's short.
And there's like multiple scenes, and your guys are like rapping and reading
Yeah.
poetry, and like there's and
And-
on top of that, we had like 7 people enter the shot at one point and just stand there taking selfies while we were like, we're clearly in the middle of a shot. Like,
Yeah.
guys, really?
Jeez.
So, yeah, you can get stuff done in like 20 minutes if you really hustle.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I don't think you watch it and think, like,
I mean, it definitely looks like the sun is going down.
Yeah, you can tell the light is changing, but I don't think you watch it and think, like, wow, this is really rushed and not as good as it could be. Like,
no, I think it turned out good.
And that was the last thing.
And we had to do several takes because we kept trying to get the timing of Casey's phone to go off, and then you can't even really hear it. Because, like, at one point, Laura calls Rachel, and so what we did was I was calling Casey, but, like, the timing of me calling... Because we didn't want to have to, like, add that sound in, because it always sounds fake. So we were like, well, we'll just make it her actual phone ringing, and then that'll interrupt the moment. And so I started, like, trying to call it, but getting the timing of that was very difficult.
So that's the one that we ended up using...
like a little
on set. It felt
really
way too
long. Yeah,
but then in the episode, it doesn't feel as
long. Because I was standing there like, come on, why won't it go?
Because it's like Casey. I'm just like
you guys are just
Casey's
like staring at each other. Yeah,
no,
really
guys. Do you know what? Literally, web series hack. Yeah. The best thing to do for that is to, like, obviously this would be more difficult to do outside. Or I guess not if you, like, download or something, but we were using YouTube videos. Like, literally play a YouTube video of a thing on someone's phone.
Yeah, but she was standing, like, over there.
Yeah.
And it had to interrupt, because it was the moment where they were, like,
I mean, that specifically sounds like a situation where you had to do that. But, like, in general, that's, like, fucking, it's a great web series hack.
There
like... Literally just have the sound, like, ready to play.
Well, what we did for Eddy Rex is, you know, the greatest web series of all time. We, with the scene where it's the three Greek Capellas Snapchatting and then the audio is supposed to loop back on their phones, I just took the audio out of that one little clip of Mr. Elias and Eddie and then, like, sent it to either my phone or Shannon's phone, and then we just recorded audio of it playing on a phone, like, just in the room later.
So it sounded like
it was coming out of a phone, and we didn't have to, like, edit the sound, because it's really, really hard to edit audio to make it sound like it's coming out of a phone in the room. It's way easier to just play it off your phone and record the sound of it playing off your phone.
It's kind of like... It's like, why do CGI when you can do a practical effect kind of thing?
Yeah.
If it's, why unnecessarily edit when you can just do a practical effect? Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So
never
those.
do it in
One thing I was going to ask,
do it
sorry.
Whatever.
Where did you guys film Eddy Rex?
UCF. University of Central Florida.
We were very lucky that every time we went to that classroom, people weren't in there.
Yeah.
Like, it was the weekend, but people were studying in, like, every other classroom.
Yeah, we went there, like, 4 times. What happened was my sisters both, well, one of them graduated, but the other one still goes to UCF. And so they knew people, well, one of my sisters was, the one who graduated, was a dance minor at UCF. So she knew a lot of, like, dancey, theater-y people, which is how we got Alaric, who played Eddie, and Alaric brought in Nick, who played Creepy Ian, who was also in theater. So we were kind of lucky on that, and our Cassie Jo was just one of my sister's friends, who ended up being good, who was also in the dance program. But, so they were all kind of, like, already theater-y people, and we didn't have to take them too far, because it was already on their campus, which was convenient. But, yeah, that classroom was just, like, I asked my sister, I was like, do you know of any, because I knew FSU's campus really well, and I knew where the empty classrooms were and where the hallways that nobody ever was or whatever. But I was like, where's, like, an empty classroom that nobody will be in, basically? And she was like, oh, this building is open. Because the other thing is you have to find something that's unlocked on the weekends, which not everything is. So she was like, this building is open. I go there and do homework sometimes. So we just, like, went there and found a classroom. And we were like, okay, this is our classroom now. And, yeah, like Shannon said, luckily, every time we went in there was nobody in there. Because we would go into a different classroom and there was somebody studying in there. And then we're like, oh, sorry. But, yeah, we went... What was it, 4 days? That's the fastest shoot we've ever done, ever.
It's 7 episodes.
It's 7 episodes,
and they're
but
very
still,
short episodes.
Still, though.
Yeah.
The fact that we did it in 4 days was still pretty...
And we only had Creepy Ian for 2 days.
And we only had Amanda for 2 days.
And the days didn't always overlap.
They didn't line up with each other, and it would be like Alaric would have rehearsal, so he would have to leave early, but Lydia had church, so she had to get there late, and, like...
We'd have people at the same time for very brief amounts of time.
And we'd be like, okay, we have to do this scene with Cassie and Eddie, and then we'll go back and do this other thing with Creepy Ian once he gets here.
Which is another thing I hate about web series, because it's always like, we have one single hour where the two characters who are supposed to be a couple can film together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you always have to respect that, especially if you're not paying people and if you're students, that everything else in their life takes precedent.
Yeah, everything else is more important.
And that's like something that you have to accept and respect.
Which is difficult, because to you, your most important thing is your show. And it's not the most important thing to them.
Yeah. But yeah, in Eddy Rex, the whole like hallway scene, they were all... That was over like 3 days, but you can't tell.
You can't tell, no, because it would be like, okay, and then Cassie's gonna walk in, but we don't have Lydia yet, so let's do something else, and then we'll come back to the same spot and have the part where Cassie walks in.
Nicole was freaking out that we'd never like be able to do that scene. I was like,
Shannen had a vision for it, and I was not seeing it. And I have to say though, I was also very stressed because I was moving that weekend, like the same time that we were filming, and my new roommate called me and she was like, the only time I have to give you this key is during this hour, and I was like, okay, we're in the middle of filming, but I'm gonna leave and come back. Hopefully they won't be like waiting around on me when we get back.
Because we were filming the same shot for an hour.
Yeah, the bloopers was the shot that they had to do like 50 times. So I got back and I was like, I hope I didn't stall you guys too much. They're like, nope, we've been having a time trying to get this one shot done. Anyway.
Worth it. But you know what's not worth it? Making a web series.
There we go. We've brought it around in full circle.
Yeah.
And we've been talking for like an hour.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I want each of us to say, in like one sentence, why you should save yourself and not make a web series. Shannen?
You should just get a real job.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole.
Mine is, I hope in my life, well, I know this isn't true, but I never thought that I would spend so much time literally begging people to show up to a spot to just, like, stand there and do nothing. Like, just please, someone cut me an extra, please, someone. I don't like groveling, and I have to do a lot of it for web series. So if you don't like groveling, don't make a web series.
Ingrid.
I just don't want to fucking schedule shit or deal with
the worst
humans. I guess, like, if you're gonna frickin' do a web series, the biggest thing you have to do is, like, the first day establish, like, a sense of, like, this is professionalism, and this is, like, this is director Ingrid.
Yeah.
And she is here to tell you to stop fucking talking. Yeah.
Why make a web series when you could just watch Twin Peaks? Because in season 2, my beautiful wife Denise shows up, and she is beautiful and pure and great, and now in the revival she's head of the FBI. Spoilers. And she's beautiful and great.
I haven't
this
even watched
entire
this at all
podcast
yet.
has just been a setup for Sara to promote
10
Denise from Twin Peaks.
10 episodes.
Sarah, I hate
for
you.
Sara to talk about Denise from Twin Peaks.
You just
She's
spoiled
my wife.
Twin Peaks.
Sarah, you have a lot of wives.
Shall we wrap it up?
No, now I gotta list all my wives and girlfriends.
No, they don't need to know about that.
They know.
Too many.
Bobby Morse is my girlfriend. Denise is my wife.
Okay.
So oh my god. Okay.
So save yourself. Don't make a web series. It'll eat your life. It'll ruin your relationships with people.
And then your only relationship
Sara.
will be Denise from Twin Peaks.
And you'll be broke with no job.
Yep. Actually, all of us have lost our jobs in the course of filming web series.
Not because of the web.
Not because of the web series, but
Lies. I have quit my job in the course of filming a web series.
Shannon and I are the only ones who have lost our jobs.
Oh man.
I don't have any jobs.
Well,
I've never had a job.
That's good. Don't get a job.
Don't succumb to capitalism.
I like
Just
to
make
not.
web series
Hey
instead.
guys,
I changed
if
my
you're
mind.
listening to this podcast, tell me if you think I should start doing pride dress commissions, because I think they're cute. So people should buy them from me.
Okay.
If you're listening to this podcast and want to be in a web series, hit me up.
And you live in the
Yeah.
Orlando area.
In the Orlando area.
The
If you
Central
live in
Florida
England.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can drive to Orlando in a reasonable amount of time.
Listen, you don't have to have any acting experience. We'll give you.
We've gotten plenty of people with zero acting experience who did great. You just have to hide the script so they can't tell that they're reading it.
Mhm.
Anyway, bye guys.
Bye.
It's been
Okay.
fun.
This has been a podcast. Please tell us if you listened to it, because I'm curious if anyone did.
Like, comment,
Yeah.
subscribe.
Watch our
Like,
web series.
subscribe.
Are we done?
We're
Yep,
done.
we're done.